Well, this is your old hunter here again. I have a very interesting story to tell. It was back probably 79, 80, somewhere along there. I had a Browning, I believe it was a Nomad bow, had just two wheel cam. And I'd searched along a fence, along a bean field next to a swamp, and I could see where the deer had been jumping over the fence and a pretty good trail. Looked out in the woods, and there was a big persimmon tree about, I'd say 50, 60 feet from the fence. Good staging area, kind of open woods. So I took my rope ladder and throwed it over the limb and climbed up and took a boat cushion, tied it to the limb. Another one right under me I could put my feet on. I was sitting there, probably an hour or so before dark, and I heard this rustling in the leaves coming right toward me. It's a deer. And it stopped. And then I heard it climbing a tree. There was a uh, coon. He climbed up this tree next, just a little ways from me, and started eating berries up in the tree. He did that for a few minutes, then climbed down. Well, I heard that rustling again. I said, well, that's that coon coming on out. He's going to go out in the bean field. Well, when I kind of looked back, it was a buck. I don't know, he's 6, 7 point, probably 150, 175 pound deer. He's not real old. And he kind of scared me, or not scared me, but kind of almost got by me. And I kind of twisted around and shot him with the bow, and I hit him a little too far back. He took off running and made a big circle and came right back and laid down about, I don't know, probably 50 yards from me at the most. And so I sat there for a while and watched him. He dodged his head up and down. It was beginning to get late, and I knew this gate closed at 30 minutes after sundown, or 30 minutes after that. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, so I climbed down. I tied the boat cushion to my left side of my belt and had my bow in my left hand and bundled everything up, put it in my backpack, and I walked over to where the deer was at close to him. He throwed his head up. Well, I don't know why I did it. I guess I was thinking of a rifle. I decided I'd shoot that deer in the head with a bow, which probably wouldn't have worked. But anyway, I drew back and shot. The deer kind of jerked his head forward, and the arrow went through his ear. Well, I guess he didn't like that too much. He jumped up like he had springs on and spun around and came at me full force. And I was standing kind of sideways because that's how I was when I shot the bow. And he hit that boat cushion that was tied to my belt, hanging down by my leg, just above the knee. He had his head down and just whop, like to knock me down. And so the only thing I knew to do, I threw my bow out to the side and reached down and grabbed his horns. Well, the fight went on. He pushed me and I pushed him. I pushed him, he pushed me. Well, I had a big hunting knife on my belt, so I reached down and get that hunting knife, and I'd have to turn loose his horn with my right hand, reach down and get the knife. Well, as soon as that did that, he felt that, and he'd go to pushing harder and kind of twisting me. So I had to put the belt, turn loose the knife, and grab him and get a hold of him again. That went on 2 or 3 times like that, and anyway, it was a staging area that I was set up in, and I figured the deer would come there and stop before they crossed into the bean field. Well, we fought around there for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes probably. Seems like, I don't know how long it was. Anyway, finally I looked over there and I saw the arrow was hanging out of his side, and it was just sort of flopping. I don't know if it hit a bone or what it had done. And so I just kind of pushed him into me and reached over and got that arrow and just stabbed it up through his body. And he shot out by me, and he didn't go 30 yards, and he fell dead. And I think he was about wore out anyway. But that little staging area was kind of open area, and it had a big briar patch in it. And that deer and me, we tore a briar patch down. We stomped it down to the ground almost. And well, I managed to get the deer loaded up and go home, clean him. Next morning, came back with my father, and he walked out there with me. And we got to looking. There was arrows, there was a glove, there was a boat cushion, there was a bow, just scattered all over the place. And that briar patch was just tore up. And I don't remember what he said, but it was a pretty comical comment. But anyway, we gathered up all the equipment, all my bows and all my stuff. And anyway, that's the gist of the story. And some people say, "Oh, that you made that up." But I've had 2 or 3 people tell me, especially one, said, "I believe that because nobody could make that story up." And that's the story of me fighting a deer. So don't walk up on a deer when he's still alive unless you got a gun and you're going to shoot him, or you wait till he actually expires before you walk up to him, because they will jump up and they will attack you, and that one sure did. So thank you for watching. Look at my YouTube, Canady Trail, and subscribe to me. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.